This week on the Racer X Show, the Pro Motocross Championship is crazy as ever. Roczen slips while Dungey flies, and Kennard gets his first. AMA Pro Flat Track visits Indy for the famed Indy Mile. And now it's down to 1 point. ATV Motocross gets sloppy in Tennessee. A great way to end the season. And you're almost out of time to win a brand new Honda CRF450R, Trey Kennard lookalike. We'll show you how to enter. Don't get out of your seat, because this is one you won't want to miss. Hello and welcome to the Racer X Show, presented by Chaparral Motorsports. I'm Greg White. Thanks for joining our racing highlight and news show. We wrap up one championship and march closer to the conclusion of two more. So, let's get going.
The Racer X Show with Greg White is being presented by Chaparral Motorsports. Visit Chaparral Motorsports online at chatmoto.com.
Okay, let's start you off with motocross from Unadilla, where things are really starting to tighten up in the chase for the #1 plate. And a healthy Trey Kennard grabbed his first career 450 win.
We've reached the storied grounds of Unadilla Valley Sports Center for round 10 of the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championships. It's the Red Bull Unadilla National. Well, we knew it would be a battle between the teammates, and it was. Off the start, it was Yamaha teammates Phil Nicoletti and Justin Brayton going back to start. But it wouldn't be long before the KTM boys were moving up on them. Ryan Dungey at the #5 right there, trying to get the #1 spot.
And he does eventually get the #1 spot coming up on Brayton. And right here, just a beautiful move. Goes around the outside here, which sets him up on the inside. And he's still able to get over this double coming out of the turn. Takes that lead, but Ken Roczen was also just cutting through the pack in the early laps. But
oh man, Chad Reed was in 7th place, had a crash, tweaked that shoulder that he had surgery on in Supercross. Said luckily it's not that bad, but enough to knock him out of the race. As you said, Ken Roczen sliced up the second and kept the heat on Ryan Dungey for most of it, but was never able to get by him. And Ryan Dungey wins his 3rd consecutive moto. So he's halfway home to an overall victory for the weekend at Unadilla, but there will be a 2nd moto. Here are the results from this first race. Eli Tomac, 3rd, good, but not quite as quick as your top 2. Trey Kennard from a bad start out of the top 10 all the way up to 4th. There's your top 10. Eli Tomac in the lead early. He's in the #3. Look at this line by Trey Kennard up the inside.
great pass, just squared that corner up. Got a great drive out of there. Took the line away from Eli, but it would not end there.
Tomac able to get him back on the inside. They actually came together, somehow stayed upright. Look at the determination by Kennard to get the wheels in front. He held off a furious charge about 15 more minutes. Tomac was right there. Then Ryan Dungey passed Tomac, got close. This is the final margin of victory. About a 1.5 seconds. Dungey happy because that 2nd place finish combined with his Moto 1 victory gives him the overall. But here are the results of that moto that you saw. Kennard rocks it back and forth. Good job by Weston Pike in the top 5.
We came here just wanted to make the best of the day, you know, not worry about the future or nothing like that, you know, and it's easy to get sidetracked. There's a lot of racing left still, and with 2 rounds, and but it's good. You know, the bike, Team Red Bull KTM, the guys did an awesome job from the beginning of the day till now, and it's good to get another overall. Very excited. I made it hard on myself that second one. Those guys just took off, and I had to play catch up.
Here are your overall results of the day. Ryan Dungey said getting the victory. Ken Roczen bumped off the podium, and you see the 7-point differential today between your points title. And look at that. We knew the battle between Dungey and Roczen. You got some spoilers in there now with the Honda boys, Kennard and Tomac. This is going to be right down to the wire. Great racing today, Grant.
Oh, phenomenal racing. Ryan Dungey cuts it from 14 to 7. The noose keeps tightening.
How about Trey Kennard riding that momentum? That's a feel-good moto victory. Christophe Pourcel been getting starts all year long. Got another one here. Motorsport.com money coming his way. Muscan, a pretty good start on the #25. He'll quickly get passed by Cooper Webb on the 37, though.
They were side by side. Cooper Webb has that inside, takes the line away, but Marvin was not done. He kept chugging away. He had great lines, great speed right here. Soaks up that rhythm section, does a different option, gets by Cooper Webb.
So Muscan's in 2nd. At one point, Pourcel had extended it to about 4 seconds. But late in the race, Muscan was coming. Here's the last turn. Trying a daring move down to the inside. Lap traffic to deal with too. Pourcel's forced to look over his shoulder, gets back to the left side of the track and seals him off, winning his first moto of the season, his first moto since 2010, and he did it right here at this track. And absolutely not a surprise, because Pourcel has won a bunch of these things through the years. This usually is a track that he excels at most, and he proved it again.
Jeremy Martin on the podium, the silent assassin, just racking up points and extending his points leading once again.
Dean Wilson, best finish of the year for him in 4th on the Kawasaki. Bogle wins that battle of Blake Baggett for 5th. Shane McElrath, good job coming back from a series of injuries as well. Finishes up in the top 10. Shout out to Savaji, Sealy, and Webb, also a first. And then you got Christophe Pourcel to show you how he got this overall. He had the first Moto 1 already, then grabs his start and motosport.com money in Moto 2. But Jeremy Martin right there, the number 19, puts a challenge to him, and I think Pourcel said, hey, I'm going to win the overall anyway. You can go ahead.
Pourcel, this turn, yeah, losing a little bit of time there. Jeremy Martin comes up the inside. Better drive out of that turn.
Oh, Cooper Webb. This was tough, man. He's second to the points. The bike doesn't make it to the finish line, so Jeremy Martin's points lead is going to be even more massive now. But on the other end, the Star Racing team at least is happy that Martin did win the moto. That's two teammates battling for the title, so good and bad for them. Give you the results here from the moto in just a moment. Martin takes a win. Pourcel second. Bogle, another solid podium finish. Third. Newscan fifth. Baggett fourth.
You know, I told you the first moto went good, and Marvin was going good. The crowd is insane here, so I love the track, you know, and this is the Yamaha crew and the team, you know, they do everything for me, and I'm so proud today because they stick with me, Yamaha, and I'm finally won overall, so I'm very blessed, and I'm very happy today.
Here's your overall results of the day. As we mentioned, Pourcel just edging Martin. And a good job by Newscan at 5th in the second moto. I'm sure not exactly what he wants, but he still will be on the podium for the day. I'll show you the series standings. The key is this. 50 points is the magic number for Jeremy Martin. Edging across that now with the bad luck for Webb, and not a great day for Baggett, who is off the podium. So suddenly we got a shot at a championship being handed out next weekend in the 250 class.
Time for some news. The 2014 Motocross of the Nations team was announced at Unadilla Saturday, and representing the U.S., Red Bull KTM's Ryan Dungey, Geico Honda's Eli Tomac, and Yamalube Star Racing Yamaha's Jeremy Martin. That is one strong team heading into Latvia September 27th through the 28th. Now, I told you we're in the middle of the MX Sports offices, right? Like RacerX Illustrated's on the other side. And I snagged the cover proof for the latest issue. The digital version comes out tomorrow. I wanted to show you this because, well, I mean, that is one sick photo of Ken Roczen, but in the Pro Motocross Outdoor Series, Ricky Carmichael only lost 25 races in total in both classes. Now, the crew from RacerX, they break down each race and explain why he lost those 25. It's a great read, and that's why RC is the GOAT. RacerXOnline.com to subscribe. And we told you at the top of the show, win a bike, look like Trey. American Honda and MX Sports are giving away a brand new 2014 Honda CRF450R to benefit the Asterisk Mobile Medical Center. It resembles a Team Honda muscle milk machine ridden by Kennard. It's got a Yoshimura tie pipe, team graphics, Honda motorcycle stand, fly racing helmet, and more. How? Buy a $10 raffle ticket, or many. Quantities are unlimited. The winner will be announced in Indiana on the 16th. You don't need to be present to win. Super easy to enter. Type in bit.ly/Honda450 into your web browser. Okay, the penultimate round of the 2014 season is happening this weekend. It all starts on promotocross.com at 10:30 a.m. Saturday with live practice. Then the pre-show at 12:15. Moto 1's at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. live. All are East Coast times. On TV, MAV at 1, NBCSN 5 p.m. for the 450s, 1 a.m. for the 250s, 2 a.m. for the highlight show. All that motocross action is from the Thor Indiana National, the same state that saw MotoGP racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway over the weekend. And we are witnessing one amazing racer on an amazing motorcycle do something extraordinary. 21-year-old Marc Marquez. Coming into the weekend, he'd won all 9 races of the season. And even with a so-so start, he was able to pull away from Yamaha's Jorge Lorenzo to take his 10th win in 10 tries. That hasn't been done since 1997 by Repsol Honda's Mick Doohan. I mean, looking at this kid race, it is one of the most spectacular things I have ever seen. Next week, they're in Brno in the Czech Republic. Check out your local Fox Sports 1 listing to watch. Off to dirt track. Tuesday night's race in Rapid City, South Dakota was rained out, so it's all about the Indy Mile, where a lot of MotoGP racers like Marc Marquez attended the mile Friday night, and where Rogers Racing Las Vegas Harley-Davidson's Jared Mees was still your points leader by 6 over Villa Esparza Crosley Radio's Brian Smith. And when it was all over, the points tightened up to the slimmest possible margin. But before we get into all that, let's see how it all happened. When race action got going, it looked like it would be the mile-type racing we would expect to see. Draft and pass. But here at the Indy Mile, number 2 Kenny Coolbeth Jr. on his Zanardi Racing Harley-Davidson was on another planet. And it only took him about 3 laps to get it done. And just like that, number 5 Jake Johnson on his Ramsar Winery Ducati slipped to the high line, and Coolbeth was gone. That left the podium to number 9 Mees and number 47 Smith, who were 2.6 seconds adrift of Coolbeth as he takes his 3rd win of the season. At the stripe, it was Smith who got by Mees for 2nd. That one move might prove to be pivotal as we wind this one down. But the glory under the Friday night lights goes to Coolbeth.
Probably 8 laps to go. I was kind of worried. You know, my tire was kind of going away a little bit, I thought. And, you know, kind of just rode my laps, you know. These guys from Zanardi, Dave Atherton, builds me a great motorcycle. And there's no complaints, you know. I just need to show up with my head on straight and ride the motorcycle.
1 point between the Michigan boys, Mees and Smith. Johnson, with his 4th, stays in the mix with 5 rounds to go in the 2014 Grand National Championship. Pro singles class now, and the difference between the 450 singles and 750s, just about 2 seconds lap time, not as much as you might think. After a lap 1 red flag and restart, this is how they looked, with number 23 Ryan Foster from California leading the way. But when things sorted themselves out, it was number 67 Davis Fisher who was pulling away until, working lap 9, number 17 Jared Vanderkoy storms by to take over the lead. Fighting with Vanderkoy, number 77 Kyle Johnson. These two were gone. It came down to this, a photo finish and a big cheer from the crowd. After checking that photo finish, it was Vanderkoy with the W, just a hair in front of Johnson, with Nick Armstrong in 3rd.
I got off to a good start, and I got the whole shot the first time and ended up getting red flagged. Got off in about 3rd or 2nd or so and just kept up there the whole race. I dropped back to 4th and kept working our way up using the draft, and got Kyle barely at the line. I knew I didn't want to pass him down the back straightaway. He would just draft me up. So I followed him into 3 and ended up working out.
This race, the only time Kyle Johnson has stood on the podium and not been a winner, but still manages to pull away from his competition now by a massive 4 points. We now move to ATV and the final round of the 2014 Mountain Dew ATV Motocross National Championship from Loretta Lynn Ranch in Hurricane Mills, Tennessee. It got quite exciting Saturday as Mother Nature decided to have some fun and make a mess. Newly crowned champ Chad Wienen Motorsports Yamaha stole the SSI Decals Whole Shot Award over Motorsports.com Honda's John Natale. Moments later, Natale made contact with Wienen while going for the lead, which forces ATV to flip. Wienen emerged from the incident unscathed, just ahead of teammate Thomas Brown. That'd be it. Brown stayed close, but Wienen took the win by a little over half a second over Brown, with Hetrick a couple of seconds back in 3rd. Confirmation of your podium, it looks like Chad might pull off another 1-1 moto until Mother Nature chimed in. In Moto 2, the great equalizer was all around. Rain, or in this case, mud. BCS Can-Am's Josh Kramer was able to put his DS450 in the lead out of the gate, with JB Racing Can-Am's Jeffrey Rastrelli with him. Kramer opened a few second lead on the opening lap as the rest of the field scrambled to find traction. Rastrelli pulled off as his quad wasn't running right. This allowed Wienen to grab 2nd ahead of Brown, but neither had anything for Kramer. Kramer cruised to his first moto win in his final attempt. A great way to end the season for Kramer. I'm sure even with that championship in hand, Wienen will be thinking about Loretta's all winter long. Or will he? Wienen ends the season with a 5-race win streak en route to the title and finishes no worse than 3rd in a single moto the entire season. So let's hear from him.
You know, once I got out there, I loosened up the bunch, and I was able to come out 2nd out of the start. Man, I was pushing Creamer around that first corner, and you know, it's a lot of fun out there. And you know, even though it was a mud race, we had a great time, and went you know, 1-2 for the overall.
Just for posterity's sake, and so Chad can show his grandkids someday. That'll do it for the Mountain Dew ATV Motocross Championships for 2014. In the Pro Am, number 728, Jeffrey Rastrelli on the JB Racing Can-Am won the event and the championship with 3 overall wins on the season. The Palm City, Florida resident takes it by 18 points over Ronnie Higgerson. Congratulations, Jeffrey. Now, last week we showed you some highlights from the Rocky Mountain ATV MC AMA Amateur National Motocross Championships presented by AMSOIL, with race commentator extraordinaire Jason Weigandt giving us some inside scoop. There are so many stories that come out of Loretta's, so let's go back trackside with Jason for more.
There's a real cool story that's starting to develop through the ranks. People that are following this real closely realize it's called the Bakersfield Bunch. For some strange reason, there are a ton of fast riders coming out of the high desert of Bakersfield, California. If you're keeping tabs on them, they delivered again. Jet Reynolds, 2 championships, and Styles Robertson, 2 as well. Ryder DeFrancesco, one of the fast riders from that area, he could have been in title contention, but he did have an arm injury that kept him out of this year's racing. But in a few years, we could really be looking at Bakersfield, California, producing the fastest riders at the ranch as the likes of Robertson and Reynolds move into the B and the A classes. That's the scoop from Loretta's. We'll send it back to the studio.
Really? Jet, Styles, and Ryder, all names for racing success, huh? Thanks, Jason. For all the results from Loretta's weekend, you can visit mxsports.com. Now, a quick shout out to the riders who went from the Amateur National Motocross Championships straight to Belgium to compete in the Motorcyclisme Junior World Motocross Championships over the weekend. Although the USA did not win a moto, when the points were tallied, they had 21 points to Germany's 23 and took the overall World Championship. Way to go, USA. Want to get out and watch some racing? We want you to. In Crawfordsville, Indiana, it's round 11 of 12. Check out the Lucas Oil Pro Motocross Championship Saturday. Sunday, the Flat Trackers take to the air and a right turn in Peoria. Get out and see some racing.
The Racer X Show with Greg White is being presented by Chaparral Motorsports. Visit Chaparral Motorsports online at chatmoto.com.
Okay, if you want to get in touch with us, it's greg@racertv.com. Any upcoming events, send it to us. That's it for now. We hope you enjoyed it. We sure did. Check us out on all of our social media links. Like us, follow us, do all that kind of stuff. You can follow me personally on Twitter. It's @GregWhite. Well, for the fine crew here at the Racer X Show presented by Chaparral Motorsports and Racer TV, I'm Greg White. And remember, we are all racing all the time. See ya. I'm telling you, man, this RC thing, it's good stuff.